fantastically corrupt, that we all came to some agreement, later in the course of various discussions, that corruption is eating into, very deep, by the way, into the fabrics of our nation. In every nook and cranny, in every corner of society, you would experience one level of corruption or the other. So it's time for us to look at this statement and see and argue or have a conversation, debate as to whether really Nigerians lack compliance, from how we drive to how we conduct ourselves in public spaces, to how the civil services run, and to what time we show up for work, and the coppers who have been posted, how they act and how they behave. Do they go for posting, or do they, what's the word they say? There's a word, I can't remember it. But are we really non-compliant? And then when the government comes hard on us, we tend to act like the government is bad, the government is worse, the government is terrible, the government is a monster. And I'll give you an example. A lot of Nigerians have left the shores of the country. A lot of them are, in various continents, Europe, America, Asia, and they obey the laws of those lands. They obey to the letter. But when they drive well, they act well, pay their bills on time, they don't do illegal connections when it comes to power, because they know they could land in jail or they could get deported. So what is the problem? Is it that Nigerians don't rate Nigeria? Is it that Nigerians are taking everything for granted and just feel entitled? Is it that Nigerians don't believe in Nigeria? Or is it that the government usually is out of touch? For one to come out and say, as a president, the Nigerians are fantastically corrupt, another would argue, has he put the right mechanisms in place, like proper infrastructure, like, good health care, education, proper welfare? Has he put all of those things in place before he comes out to talk about fantastically corrupt Nigerians? And if for someone to say Nigerians are not compliant, have we set up the right measures, the right mechanisms, structures, before we, make such judgment? So the question is, are we Nigerians, not compliant indeed, or is it that the government is out of touch? And by the way, are you also joining the president to doff your heart, or rather your hat, for the FCT minister? And that's the conversation I want to have this hour. Let's go to the phone lines quickly. 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003, and 0817-923-0007. It's the Christmas edition, and I'm just wondering, I'm just sharing my thoughts with you and how I see some of the headlines making the round. What are your thoughts? How are you reacting to what I'm thinking this Christmas afternoon? Okay, I think I do have a commercial. Yeah, I do. So when I come back from the commercial, I will be getting your thoughts. I can see the phone lines blinking. When I do come back, I'll take your bibs. Please do stay tuned. working as they should. I wonder why. But let's try again. All right, you know what? Some of you have been following the conversation from the time it started, and we're looking at what the president said on Monday evening, that Nigerians are not compliant, they do not follow the laws, they like to fake or take things for granted. And I'm asking a question: is it that the government is out of touch? And I'm not just talking about the federal government. I'm talking about all levels of government. Is it that they take things for granted, or the various levels of government are not in touch with the realities Nigerians have to face? And of course, do you agree with the president? And are you doffing your hat? I keep mixing up the sounds, but are you doffing your hat for the FCD minister as well? Let's go to the phone line: 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003. and 0817-923-0007. WhatsApp number 0809-0306-416, 0809-0306-416. Let's take this one now. 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Good morning.
Oh, no. It's afternoon. Good afternoon to you.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. Good afternoon to you.
Yeah. You see, the president...
Let's know your name. Okay, welcome.
The president has not made any mistake in that statement. You see, most Nigerians find it very difficult to comply to instructions and other things. They feel they can get away with anything. They feel they can do whatever thing they like and nothing will happen. And most times when you confront them with the truth, they will tell you, oh, because you never happened to you. Most times they see corrupt practices are grace. They are not grace, they are corruption. But once you favor them, they have grace. But once it doesn't favor them, they start crying that it's corrupt practices. That is why the president make an emphatic statement and said Nigerians don't comply. And I want to tell you that the president was absolutely correct on it. And I'm wholeheartedly supporting the president. It's not just by saying that Nigerians are not complying, but what is the measure they have put in place for Nigerians to comply to the rule of law and possible to instruction on certain things? These are things the government need to ask. They need to revitalize the National Education Agency to see how they can help in reintegrating Nigerians into that mindset of complying to things and making sure that things work amicably or things are working well. And secondly, the president said he's doffing his hat for Eze Bonyeson-Wike, the former governor of Rivers State. I want to tell you that in full compliance, I am also in it.
All right.
Because Eze Bonyeson-Wike has changed the narrative in Abuja. If you go to Abuja presently, you see that some certain routes which were abandoned for years has been done, and there is free flowing of movement, no more traffic, and the power supply in Abuja, most especially the street light, has been restored.
All right, thank you very much. I've got to move. I've got to move on now. 92.3 Nigeria Info. Your name, your location, your contribution. Anybody home? All right, let's move on now. 92.3 Nigeria Info. Your name, your location, your contribution.
Yeah, my name is Susie. I'm calling from Irema.
All right, Susie from Irema, welcome.
Yeah, I would have been struggling with the comment made by the president that Nigerians don't, get along with the instructions, so to say, or policies and all of that. If not that, I have certain strong feelings about certain school of thought. Aristotle once said that human beings are not naturally good, but are actually good in the society because of education. People need to be educated about certain things. And Aristotle also said that without law and justice, that a man is a beast. So to this extent, I agree with the president when he said that because certain human failed. The president is talking
Susie, please, you have to call. Susie, you would have to call back. The line is very terrible. 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Thank you. My name is Alabo.
Your name is Alabo. Your name is Alabo. Who?
Yes, please.
All right, welcome. I still can't hear you clearly, but Alabo, go ahead. What's on your mind? Talk to me.
Wow, did you see the president said the FCC minister is a performing minister.
That's not the focus, but yes, you said that. You said that yeah, but that, like I said, yes, it's in the soundbite, but that's not the focus. But go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, is it so? That means the man is really working very well. If not the kind of work the minister is doing, the president would have not said this is what Nigerians are doing that is not right. So I really congratulate my minister. He's doing well.
All right.
Thank you,
Alabo. Thank you very much. Let's go here. 92.3. Oh my.
Hello.
You would have to call back. I think there is a problem with the network. I'm gonna try another number. I'm gonna try another one. Let's take this one. 92.3 Nigeria Info. Okay. All right. Let's try this one. 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Good afternoon, Canada, once more.
Yeah, greetings to you.
Yes, I can call it from Mubu.
Yes, I can. Welcome.
Canada, I think Mr. President reminds me of war against indiscipline of those days. We are Nigeria were cautioned of being in queue in whatever thing they will do, both in the bank, in any public spaces. So if Mr. President said that we are lacking patience and not all that being organized, I believe he is talking out of experience as a governor and other political offices he had held. I believe that he shouldn't have complained because he knew what to face and have set up strategies in order to make sure that whatever thing he wants to do, to make sure that the country will be in a smooth or standard condition, than for him to let us as a president that we lack patience and that we don't respect the laws of the land. He should tell the security agencies and any authorities that he knew that we cop up this menace if he see it as a disturbance, and tell them what to do, and not to let us, the masses or the citizens, to know that we are not. Why
don't you want?
Know? That is number one. He should also make things to be easy for us. Otherwise, the something that happened wouldn't have happened. He has broken record in his tenure, in his government.
All right.
Such multitude of numbers had lost their lives because of hunger. As they can.
All right, thank you very much. Let's go here. 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Yes, Kalada.
Yeah.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
I totally agree with the president on that statement that Nigerians does not comply to or do not obey rule of law and instruction. On that, he is very correct. But Mr. Kalada, do you know that these same Nigerians he's talking about, take them to let's say New York as a case study. Take them to New York. You don't need to chase after them. You don't need to carry police and pursue them in order for this same Nigeria to obey the law. Do you know like that? Immediately they leave the shore of Nigeria to even Dubai here. You don't need to force them to obey the law. Why is it so? Can you answer me?
I've not been to those countries, so I can answer. They have their reasons,
all right.
I guess.
But I want to tell you here, Mr. Kalada, that the Nigerians are not the problem. For instance, the IG has told us that there should be no more roadblock. There should be no more collection of 100 naira by Nigerian police or thereabout. Are there not a government agency? What has government put in place to ensure that that thing stops? Go to all government agencies. You know that there are frauds that are going on even in the Nigerian judiciary. You know that there are frauds that are going on in all those places. Is government not aware of it? Government has everything it takes to make things work. He as a president, does he not have the power? Has he willpower to ensure that he ensure those things change? What mechanism has he put in place to ensure that those things he bring them to end?
All right, I've got to go. Yeah, so the government has to do one or two, before he can make such a statement you're saying. All right, I get your point. But it was with all due respect, I don't agree either. I don't agree with the president. We as a people are not compliant, not because we choose to be so, but because people who are in government and are supposed to use the machinery of government to sanitize the society. He said instead they use the government to acquire wealth and abuse the system. In that case, then we won't obey the law. Take a look at the police as an institution. Who will respect them this way? Andy, all right, you have to respect them because you just might find yourself in incarceration. But it says even Mr. President lacks patience. That is why he bought an aircraft without waiting for approval from National Assembly. Okay, that's your argument. This is a happy season to you. The state civil servants, I think I've moved on from that. Okay, you said, wait though. In that president's statement, who exactly is the president supporting? Is it Wike or those complaining about the property from Dumale Dimande? Of course, he's supporting Wike in that statement. Let's come here. Okay, from Rumakuta. You just made me laugh, but thank you nonetheless for that message. This just says many Nigerians view discipline as weakness and obedience to law as stupidity. And then you said this section of Nigerians are ready to sponsor all manner of hate against anyone who seems to champion the path of rule of law or compliance to law. Imagine how difficult it has become to access some major roads in River State by reason of recalcitrant traders. They don't obey regulations. Canada, there are people who will hate you immediately you mention compliance to law. And if you aga with that one, I think we do have a commercial. Well, while I'm waiting for the commercial to begin, this one says Nigerians are not compliant with the laws. Does he comply? Was he not supposed to consult with Nigerians before his fuel subsidy is gone? But rather, he unilaterally pronounced fuel subsidy is gone without getting refineries and other shock absorbers in place. Is that illegal? I think it was within his right to do that as president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, by the way, just so you know. But going ahead, you said the airplane he bought while the rumor was still generating opprobrium. Did it go past the National Assembly, listen to public cries before purchasing the airplane? Let him and his administration allow the poor people to breathe. Look at the carnage going on. It was their choice to prematurely choose death. Or you're asking, was it their choice to prematurely choose death? I beg, good luck with that one. All right. This one says, wonders shall never end. What about the president who bought a presidential jet without Senate approval, budgeted 21 billion naira for VP's apartment in a country where millions are homeless and struggling to pay their rent, because the worst high cost of living in decades? How did Nigerians vote for a president that has a problem with them enjoying life and sees that as the country's problem, but his own lavish lifestyle and that of his fellow politicians is not a problem to him? So this is who Nigerians would put up with until 2027. Or worse, 2031 day from. But David, the private jet is not that of the president, is it? The private jet is not that of the president. The private jet is Nigerians. It's for Nigerians, and so look at it from that angle. I'm going back to the phone line, still waiting for the commercial to get started. Well, let's listen to the caller. 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Mr. Kalada, good evening.
Welcome.
It's the comrade Tony.
All right, welcome, Tony. All right, welcome, Tony.
Well, Nigeria is not that difficult to control. But what we have is an individual that is greater than institution. And if Mr. President wants to do the right thing, is to try and build an institution that should be greater than the single individual.
Are you sure Nigerians are not difficult to control? Because Wari, in his last days in office, or during his last days in office, Nigerians are difficult people to lead, to control.
That is because he was not in charge of his own government.
How would you know that? Were you in charge of his government? Were you the
The
one?
cabals around him, those that tried and brought him through it, were the people in charge of the government. And again, the Buhari of 1983 wasn't the same as Buhari of
I don't know what you mean. Recorded as the president at the time of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So I'm trying to understand you.
Okay, what I'm saying is this. The willpower that he had as a military government was totally a different thing from what we saw in 2021 back to 2015. So I believe the federal government, he will not do it alone, quite all right. But he has to set machineries. And then, like the legislators, the judiciary, to be on the same path with him. I think with that, Nigerians are not really difficult to be in control.
All right then. All right, thank you. Thank you very much for your thoughts there, Tony. Oh, my, missed that one. Let's try this one. 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Canada, greet you this evening.
Merry Christmas to you. Tell us your name.
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is J.A.J. I'm
All right.
calling you from Port Harcourt.
All right then.
Canada, when it comes to discipline, Nigerians are the most disciplined people that walk the surface of this earth. They are.
Okay.
Some times ago, we were complaining in our area that there's no light. Then in Greater was having serious light. That is like 20 hours a day. I was driving past a Greater going to Omagua. You know what happened?
You tell me.
Nigerians queue at the NEPA station. They were paying their bills. Nigerians are people that once they see what they pay for, bro, Nigerians will queue behind. Don't forget that there's no part of this world.
JJ, I like the example you've given, but we have Nigerians who boycott. How do I say it again? Is it boycott now? Or bypass,
because
sorry.
the law
bypass.
did not catch up with them.
Oh, okay.
Now, Canada, there is nowhere in this world people like to obey law. Why was there rebellion in heaven? That in Jamaica has to draw his sword that they fought Lucifer and all those put together. There is nowhere in the world that the people don't like to obey law.
Okay.
So what happened? Because of the measures put in place by the government. Now you ask yourself, what measures has government put in place to make sure the constant behavior are punished?
Okay.
Like in the U.S., for instance, you see people, the biggest offense you commit is like drinking and driving.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah,
you drink and you drive.
Yeah.
You go to prison.
Yeah, true.
So everybody is afraid to drink and drive. The people that will implement it here, knowing too well that people, they know the implication. But because there's nobody to enforce it, everybody flouts it.
Okay.
And you say, oh, Nigerians are this, Nigerians. No.
But okay.
That will implement the law.
So let me ask you a question.
JJ.
JJ. So
Yeah,
who the people who are supposed to implement, like you've said, are they not Nigerians?
Oh.
No. They are not
Because
Nigerians.
They are supposed to be operating at higher level.
But they are Nigerians.
Punished for you doing that thing.
But they are.
Canada.
But they are
Canada.
Nigerians. Yeah, I'm
Canada, wait.
I'm listening.
I pay for advert in your station. And you came in, you didn't play the advert. Don't you think that I will hold your station responsible, and your station will in turn hold you responsible?
Okay.
Because everybody wants to break the law, cut corners, then I shouldn't hold you. It's your station that will now hold you and say, why did you play this man advert when you've been told?
I understand where you're coming from, but yet again, my question still stands. The people who are supposed to, because now in this case, the example you wait, JJ, the example you've just given.
The people that are supposed to do that, were they not trained? Were you not trained before you follow this job?
But yet again, you see, you're not a staff, you're not a part of Nigerian Info, so I understand your example. But in this case, all of us are Nigerians. But JJ, I've got to go. My time is up. I'm sorry.
Nigerians are trained. The people should be held responsible for not doing their job.
Okay,
that's how it works. Not blame the victim. We are the victims, not what the president is saying.
All right then, we are the victims, he says. But I've got to let him go at this point. This just says, good evening. Like, Nigerians cannot comply to setting thinks because of the bastardization or polarization of public institutions, here individuals are stronger than institutions. Can he remember how the institutions of government led to his election victory in his government? How has the corruption fight been? Okoroma Godwin Chooks from a Rema community with as many questions as in that text. But let's come to Emi Fiaga, who says, how do we judge a situation where a suspect is arrested for a crime and charged to court, and we behold some Nigerians protesting that the suspect should be released unconditionally? Emi Fiaga with another message as relates to this conversation. It's really interesting, the debates that we're having on Christmas Day. I mean, I thought it was going to be all rice and chicken and a bottle of chilled drink, but we have been able to argue for development, or should I say debate for development of our dear state and our nation at large. But this is where it comes to an end. After the commercial that is about to play, will be time for the major news, so you want to stay tuned to 92.3 Nigeria Info. Merry Christmas once again, and let's do this again tomorrow, so just stay tuned.
Are you having problems listening to us via the Nigeria Info app? Experiencing any bugs?